Governor Abeokuta flags off statewide vaccination campaign for residents against COVID-19 as Nigeria targets 112 million by January 2022. Many feared trapped as 21-story building collapsed in Ikoyi, Lagos. Senate to debate invasion of Justice Mary Odili's residence. IGP orders probe. Polls open in South Africa for local elections amid growing discontent against ruling ANC. Whatever it is you are scared of doing, do it. Make your mistakes next year and forever.
Coming up on the business segment of the news, fuel scarcity looms as private depot hike price by 9 naira per litre. Details of this and more when I return. I am Ogtv. Stay with us.
And coming up from the world of sports, Tottenham fire Nuno Espirito Santo begin talks with Antonio Conte. Details of this and other stories on the sports segment of the news. I'm Emmanuel Dasalo. Stay with us.
The Ogun State government has flagged off its mass vaccination campaign as part of efforts to check the spread of COVID-19. Speaking during the flag-off ceremony at Arcade Ground, Okemoson, Abeokuta, Governor Dr. Abeokuta said the vaccination is a pointer to his administration's commitment to the safety of residents of the state against the virus. Governor's office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu reports.
In order to tackle the possibility of another wave of COVID-19 pandemic, the Ogun State government launched a mass vaccination campaign with slogan, "Stay alive, get COVID-19 vaccine." #Abere This significant intervention is targeted at about 2 million residents and 18 years and above between the 1st of November to 25th of December 2021. Governor Abeokuta said this program is a demonstration of the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration towards ensuring vaccination against the disease. He noted that Ogun State has been able to fight the pandemic to a standstill.
With the commencement of this mass vaccination in Ogun State today, we will sure achieve a greater resilience against this virus. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we are particularly pleased to share in the joy of the liberty from the pandemic. As the state government, in partnership with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, plans to vaccinate about 2 million people of our dear state. In addition to those already vaccinated, it's a fact that since the review of the national guidelines on vaccination, each of the states is expected to immunize at least 40% of its citizens to boost the herd immunity against COVID-19.
While giving 60 days ultimatum for everyone to be vaccinated, Governor Abeokuta also said over 5% of the total population of the state has received their first dose, while 2.4% has been totally vaccinated.
We are going to give a window to allow for this vaccine. And that window starts from today for the next 60 days. Anybody after 60 days that is not vaccinated will not be allowed in our offices, will not be allowed in our schools, will not be allowed to do business with us. We will do spot checks in our markets. You'll be required to carry your vaccine card with you at all times.
The Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, commended the initiative.
But Ogun State is one of the foremost states when it comes to the utilization of the vaccine. This is a testament to the fact that you understand why you need to take the vaccine, you understand why it is important to recover from the economic backlash of the pandemic.
Okay, vaccination sites in Ogun State have now been increased from 131 to 509 across the 20 local government areas, which include the primary, secondary, and tertiary facilities, as well as selected private hospitals. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
The launch of the statewide mass vaccination campaign against COVID-19 in Ogun State will target over 2 million people before end of the year. Bumi Adigun was at the Arcade Ground, Okemoson, Abeokuta, venue of the flag-off ceremony. His report.
The global death toll from COVID-19 topped 5 million recently. less than 2 years into a crisis that has not only devastated poor countries, but also humbled wealthy ones with first-rate healthcare systems. Here in Nigeria, the Center for Disease Control, NCDC, announced an additional death from the coronavirus pandemic. It said 74 new infections were recorded across 7 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The Ogun State government has been in a leading position to stop the disease from further spreading, from when it was first reported in the state to the sensitization on all fronts, the special task force, and now this, another step to curtail the virus, a flag-off ceremony for mass vaccination by Governor Abeokuta. From the World Health Organization, United Nations Children's Fund to market women and community development associations, they commended this initiative and promised to make the sensitization go far and wide.
I want to tell you that all the partners in the state have gathered momentum to support the successful execution of this mass campaign in Ogun State.
We will look forward to continuous support to the government of Nigeria, to the NPHCDA, and as well to the Ogun State.
Create an avenue whereby everybody look at credits of the state, particularly the community development, the participate in the COVID-19 vaccine, and we shall all be participated according to the time within that period between now and December 25. I can assure you that there's no way that we will not support you, because all the private practitioners we have all taken the 2 jabs, and this is what we preach to people, and we know that when you do it, you are protected by the grace of God.
This is a very simple way of trying to make sure we vaccinate as much people as we can in Ogun State.
Other guests described the initiative as a right step in the right direction. Commissioner for Health in Ogun State, Dr. Tumikoka, assured there will now be mobile vaccination sites across the 20 local governments in the state to make the program go round.
From here, we're going to roll out 442 fixed vaccination sites. We're going to have mass vaccination sites such as this in every local government in strategic areas. And we're also going to have mobile vaccination sites where we'll go into motor parks, markets to meet people. If they don't come to us, we'll go to them.
With 2 months to the end of the year, the period the state government is targeting for the program, this launch and the seriousness attached to it show that the spread of the virus may soon become a thing of the past in Ogun State. Bumi Adigun, Ogtv News.
And just before we move away from COVID-19, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency Executive Director, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, has said that the launch of the COVID-19 mass vaccination by Ogun State government will help the country achieve its target of vaccinating over 112 million people before the end of January 2020. Dr. Faisal Shuaib commended the state government on the drive to curtail the spread of the virus, adding that the federal government deeply appreciates the step.
Until now, we had a challenge with the supply of the vaccines. But now the vaccines are available. We have adequate vaccines to make sure that every single eligible Nigerian is vaccinated. So like I've said in the past, now we have the jabs, we now need the arms. And what we're doing here today in Abeokuta, the state capital of Ogun State, is to have a mass vaccination drive that is being led by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State. We're working with the Ministry of Health, we're working with the State Primary Healthcare Board, and what we're seeing today is just the stepping stones into what we see will be the vaccination of at least 2 million citizens of Ogun State before Christmas. So we're really excited about what this portends for Nigeria. We're hopeful that before the end of January, we'll be able to reach up to 50% of the 112 million Nigerians that are targeted with the COVID-19 vaccines, because we really do need to climb out of this pandemic and all of its negative health and socio-economic impacts.
First, Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib. Moving to other stories, Omofaiga Foundation, Raymond North Chapter, empowered 50 beneficiaries from the local government. This is in commemoration of its first-year anniversary to provide support to the grassroots people to cushion the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ayodeji Oluwumi was present at the anniversary ceremony held at the foundation office, Oderemo, Ogun State. His report.
Omofaiga Foundation was established in September 2020 with the aim of alleviating poverty and providing support to the people, especially those at the grassroots. Marking the foundation's one-year anniversary, 50 beneficiaries from Raymond North local government area were empowered as part of providing succor to the masses, especially with the unfavorable effects of coronavirus pandemic.
We are close to the grassroots. We now said, okay, let us complement the efforts of the government and assist our traders by providing funds to them. And the key, the fundamental of it is that it is interest-free.
Guests present at the occasion applauded the initiative as they call for more support from the affluent in the society.
Somebody has his money and he decides to give part of his money to improve the life of others. That is what we need. So I really appreciate him. I pray for him that he will continue to prosper so that he can help more people in future.
It's a very good program. You know, most of our people, they need this sort of a program, giving the traders money to set up their their work is it's just something to be proud of.
High point of the occasion was the handing over of the empowerment packages to beneficiaries. Ayodeji Oluwumi, Ogtv News.
A member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Adeshegun Abdul-Majid Adekoya, has laid the foundation of a multi-million-naira cardiothoracic center he facilitated for the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta. The lawmaker at the event said the project is his contribution to the advancement of the health institution and to healthcare delivery in the country. Adebola Oshomoji reports.
Research indicated that few countries in West Africa have the resources required to deliver optimum cardiac care to its people because cardiac surgery required sophisticated surgical techniques. And to galvanize efforts towards enhancing the country's capacity in the aspect of health care, the Deputy Minority Whip, House of Representatives, Honorable Adeshegun Abdul-Majid Adekoya, facilitated a cardiothoracic center to the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta.
For a lot of small things that can be done. So I decided with the name of Federal Medical Center, that is the foremost health facility in Ogun State. So the best thing is to assist in putting or facilitating such a center here, so that all over Yoruba land especially, they will have no other place to patronize than Abeokuta, our capital city.
Experts said the project marks an important step in human capital development at the hospital.
So we are making history as the first public health institution in the Southwest that we have this kind of facility. We are happy that we are having this kind of thing here today. And I can assure you, like the CMB said, this will not just go under the sand.
The medical director of the hospital, Professor Musa Olomo, applauded Honorable Adekoya for the initiative and called on well-meaning Nigerians to emulate the gesture.
You know, it is very rare to find an Ijebu man bringing this type of Janjati project to Abeokuta. By the special grace of God, and we are promising you, sir, that this will not be just any cardiothoracic center. It will be of international standard.
This project, when completed, is expected to provide treatment for cardiovascular and respiratory diseases. Adebola Oshomuji, Ogtv News.
The Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, has inaugurated the construction of the State House Clinic Presidential Wing. This is coming days after the Permanent Secretary, State House, Umar Tijani, disclosed that the President had approved the construction and equipping of a 14-bed space presidential clinic at a cost of 21 billion naira. Explained that the construction firm would construct the VIP clinic. He also said the clinic will be inaugurated on December 31, 2022. The Permanent Secretary explained that the presidential clinic would contain 14-bed facilities with a total area of 2,700 square meters. Coming up, Senate fixes next week for debate on invasion of residence of Justice Mary Odili. Details and more after this break. You're still watching Ogtv News. The current administration in Ogun State will not tolerate indiscriminate mining, which poses a great danger to the environment and lives of the people of the state. The special advisor to the Governor on Environment, Ola Oresoya, made this known in an interview with our reporter, Tunde Olaniro, on the environmental impact of the activities of the miners.
For sand dredging, yes, we made a position known. There are two ways to it. Mining, which is on the exclusive list of the federal government. The federal government gives the license, but the license does not authorize you to mine irresponsibly. It's a duty of the state government as a first responder when you come to environmental infractions to make sure that you mine in line with what the environmental impact assessment says. And you must restore the mine back into use. You just don't mine and abandon the location and go away. We found out that most of the southern part of the state, which we have the sedimentary basins, you have a lot of extractions, which is being done irresponsibly. People extract and they abandon these areas, and what happened is gully erosion. We just went to one of the gully erosion sites, and gully erosion will continue if you continue to have mining being done irresponsibly. So we are not going to tolerate any irresponsible mining. Whether you have license, we are not contesting your license. Ours is to protect the life and properties and provide the life of our people in Ogun State and make sure that people are not exposed to undue danger. You can extract mine almost at the vertical strip, and you now have people's houses falling into the gorges, and you'll have made the money and you'll have gone. Most of the people doing this extraction are never from this state. They come, destroy the state, and they go away. No. I'm sure the federal government will not tell them to go and do that here. And we are not going to tolerate it. It's our duty to make sure we don't tolerate it.
He noted that the miners will have to take relevant actions in compliance with the environmental policies of the state.
They register with the Ministry of Environment so that we have to go there regularly to see that while they are mining, they are not destroying the life of our people. While they are mining, they have dust control for those who are stripping seriously. If you have dust control, you maintain the road where you are destroying. You mine every day, you destroy the road. The cost of restoring those mines, the cost of restoring the degradation is much more than what they even make from the mine. And the consequence is going back to the states. Even if the money has gone to the federal government, who pays for the restoration? Even the land that will be lost, are they replaceable? No, they are not replaceable. So the onus is on us as the social contract managers. We have a social contract with the people to ensure that things are done in a responsible manner, and we have to do it.
Ola Oresoya's reaction to illegal mining in the state leads us to legislative matters. Ogun State House of Assembly's Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs has commenced its oversight to local government councils across the state with a charge on the council helpsmen to further evolve policies and programs that will aid the delivery of democratic dividends to the people. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Bolanle Ajayi, gave advice while considering the budget performance of Ijebu North, Ijebu Northeast, and Ijebu local government councils. Kolawole Oso's report is presented in this package. Well, we'll bring you details in the course of the news. Moving to other stories, authorities in Nigeria have been challenged to invest in relevant infrastructure to key maximally into the technology of the 21st century. According to information technology experts, post-COVID-19 era has brought a lot of technologically driven initiatives which have come to stay with the educational advancement of the world.
Technology is the key to every sector of the economy. The use of technology is rewarding, growing, and advancing day by day.
The age whereby everybody is unable to either get into school or there are certain things that restrict people to go into school, by having a technology platform that is online, where people can connect from their mobile phones, can connect from their computers, they can gather the education they need.
But without technology, cannot do anything in the education sector today. We saw what happened during COVID. Many institutions just went online. They started making use of the LMS, learning management system. Now, the use of technology is something very important. This is the point, this is the era where you can actually check for your admission status online, you can write exam online, you can read online. Unlike back then that all those things you have to get to school to go and check your admission status.
But again, social infrastructure development of the third world countries, which are mostly in deplorable conditions, have not allowed nations of the world to benefit immensely from technology.
Even if there is lockdown, even if there is anything we have experimented, we have seen that the way to go is technology. It's technology. And so what we are just, appealing to the government of this nation is that they need to make the environment more, creating more enabling environment for us. The cost of data, the infrastructure.
Ultimately, the way to go is to borrow a leaf from the advanced countries of the world and invest more in infrastructure to fix the dwindling economy of the nation.
Some of these new initiatives that are coming up, new infrastructure that are put in place is helping educate people. But then how do we continuously provide courses and understandings and advanced initiatives so that it can be a lot more useful? That's what the government has to help so that we can provide those initiatives and then continuously empower people to do what they need to do.
Tewalade Faiso, Ogtv News.
And to this rather sad one, a high-rise building in Ikoyi, a highbrow part of Lagos, on Monday collapsed, with many feared trapped under the rubble. The number of persons trapped is yet unconfirmed, but workers and neighbors scrambled to dig people out of the rubble of the collapsed building. Although rescue operations have not officially commenced, at least 4 persons have been reported dead in the incident. Officials of the National Emergency Management Agency say they are trying to deploy the military for crowd control as apprehensive sympathizers insist there are many people trapped inside the building. Evacuation, it was reported that the Deputy Governor of Lagos State and the Commissioner of Police have already visited the scene. The Senate has said it will debate the invasion of the residence of the Supreme Court Justice Mary Odili by security agents next week. The Red Chamber vowed to treat the issue as a matter of urgent national importance at plenary. Security operatives on Friday last week invaded the house of the Supreme Court Justice based on information that illegal activities were going on there. The chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Okpayemi Bamidele, gave the hint during an oversight visit to the Chief Justice of Nigeria in his office in Abuja. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered detailed investigation into the reported invasion of the Abuja residence of Justice Mary Odili. The residence was invaded on Friday, October 29, 2021. The Federal Minister of Justice and the Economic Financial Crimes Commission denied involvement. The IGP also said the leadership of the force is not aware and did not at any time order police operatives to carry out such assignment. He described the violation of the residence of the Justice of the Supreme Court as unfortunate and unacceptable. Taiwo Elerija, a 52-year-old timber lorry driver, has been arraigned before the senior magistrate Olajumoke Shumefun of Magistrate Court 3 Ishabo Abeokuta for dangerous driving, a traffic offense contrary to Section 18 of the Road Traffic Act, Volume 4, Laws of Ogun State, Nigeria, 2006. Elizabeth Esson, who witnessed the arraignment, reports that the defense counsel pleaded for bail for the defendants, which was granted to the sum of 300,000 naira and 2 sureties in like sum.
On the 31st day of October 2021, at about 5 p.m. along Lafenwa Road, Abeokuta, in the Abeokuta Magisterial District, Taiwo Elerija, driver of a timber lorry, with registration number Oyo XA226 GBR, was accused of dangerous driving on the public highway, considering the nature and condition of the road, to the extent that the rear tire of the timber lorry removed and caused damage to one Micra taxi, with registration number Ogun AKM 914ZY. This offense led to Taiwo Elerija's arraignment before the senior magistrate Olajumoke Shumefun on 4-count charges, which, according to the prosecutor, ASP Olakunle Shonibare, is contrary to sections 18, 23, 14, and 36 of the Road Traffic Act, Volume 4, Laws of Ogun State of Nigeria, 2006. The defendant, Taiwo Elerija, pleaded not guilty to all the 4-count charges leveled against him before the senior magistrate Olajumoke Shumefun of the Magistrate Court 3, Ishabo Abeokuta. Going through the charges before her against the defendant, senior magistrate Olajumoke Shumefun granted him bail to the sum of 300,000 naira with 2 sureties in like sum, one of which should be a member of the family residing in Abeokuta. The case was thereafter adjourned till 5th November 2021 for further hearing. Elizabeth Esson, Ogtv News.
Time now to join Okpayemi Adewumi for business news.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. Private depot have hiked their premium motor spirit petrol price from 148 naira per litre to 157 naira per litre, according to media reports on Monday. The increase has discouraged the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria members from buying or lifting the products from private depot. According to IPMAN National Vice President Alhaji Abubakar Ngadi, the 9 naira per litre difference, which is about 6 0.08% increase has culminated in gradual withdrawal of sales. He explained that the marketers are reluctant to leave their products since the federal government would not allow them to sell above the regulated band of between 162 naira to 165 naira per litre. He was given room to collect out traces of petrol scarcity in some retail outlets, he said. The Securities and Exchange Commission has vowed to apply stiff sanctions to any capital market operators who engage in unethical conduct. The Director General SEC, Mr. Lamido Yuguda, said the Commission had resolved to intensify monitoring and surveillance of the market. He spoke at the annual Stockbrokers Conference of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers held in Lagos. According to him, operators are the face of the market and they interact daily with investors. Therefore, they have to demonstrate the highest level of integrity and transparency in conducting their activities. Yuguda urged CIS to mandate its members to take annual professional development programs that would address the emerging issues in the industry. Nigerian investors closed with net capital gain of 947.21 billion naira for the month, the highest gain in recent period as Nigerian equities sustained consecutive bullish run during the month. Benchmark index for the stock market showed average return of 4.52% for the October 2021, strengthening the outlook for a second positive consecutive yearly return for the market. The average year-to-date return for the market now stands at 4.39% compared with negative returns of minus 0.12% and 5.8% in September and June. The 7-week consecutive rally at the stock market was driven primarily by the third quarter earnings, with investors taking positions ahead of earnings release and responding to earnings reports. The equity market of the Nigerian Exchange Limited gained 144.04 billion naira as the all-share index near its year-to-year high date. The NGX all-share index appreciated by 0.66% to close the week at 42,038.60 basic points from 41,763.26 basic points the previous week. The market capitalization of stocks rose to 21.94 trillion naira from 21.79 trillion naira. A total turnover of 3 billion shares worth 34.55 billion naira in 25,932 deals were traded by investors on the floor of the NGX, in contrast to a total of 1.57 billion shares valued at 18.38 billion naira that exchange ends in 21,621 deals the previous week. Assets under the contributory pension scheme rose by 120 billion naira in data obtained from the National Pension Commission. PENCOM disclosed this in its latest unaudited report on pension funds industry portfolio. According to the report, the asset rose from 12.78 trillion naira at the end of July to 12.9 trillion naira in August. PENCOM also revealed that the total retirement savings account rose slightly from 9,405,553 in July to 9,427,003 at the end of August. The operators invested 8.29 trillion naira of the fund in federal government securities, while the rest was invested in other portfolios such as domestic and foreign ordinary shares, corporate debt securities, local money markets, and mutual funds. And that rounds up the business segment of the news. Back to Mujisola.